Alright, welcome back once again. This is TheEnder. So here we are, Game 3, Killer vs. Mong. Game 2 is pretty awesome. Killer won with a mass mutilus strategy off of a 2-hatch lair. So here we are, Game 3. So let's see who's going to win. I might be slightly biased, you know. I'm rooting for the mini-dong killer. But so far, Mong has put together some pretty decent play. So I'm going to admit I saw the preview for this game, and it showed a picture with dark swarms. So regardless of what happens, I know it's going to be a good game because we have dark swarms in it, and dark swarms are awesome. Alright, so let's see. 7 drones, 2 more eggs. So once again, 9 drones, no 5 pools, although 5 pool would be a great build order choice in my opinion for this type of game. Gotta change it up, gotta keep them guessing. Well, there's no Overlord yet, so it might actually be a 9 pool. Would have expected the Overlord to have been there, so yeah, it should be a 9 pool then. So let's see what Killer's gonna do after that. Mong, he's doing another one of those funny barracks at the bottom of the ramps. It actually worked out really well in Game 1. Forms a natural wall. Not sure what that was. Might have been my chair. Overlord is scouting in the correct direction, which is very, very nice. Scouting advantage is just awesome, especially when you're rushing, and I would consider a 9 pool to be a rush. 9 pools are commonly followed up with, once again, 2-hatch mutas. Alright, double SCV scout. It looks like, based on the fact that Killer moved that Overlord, I would have guessed that he had seen that SCV. But since he's sending out a drone scout, I guess he didn't. Not sure what that's all about. So, unfortunate for Killer. He is going to be scouted right away. He's got 6 lings right away. Only 1 marine. So, that's not going to be enough. By the time the lings get there, there will be 2 marines, maybe 3. But he's still going to have to pull some SCVs off the line to block the ramp. And that's a pretty wide ramp. So, 8 lings so far. Took the natural. Alright, so let's see. Okay, so because of that funny barracks positioning, he's only got 1 SCV on the ramp, and he seems pretty safe. Killer doesn't want to try him. So that's kind of unfortunate for Killer. I mean, of course he would have liked to go for a more economic opening, considering the reasonable level of economicness that Mong took. I don't think that's English, but whatever. Alright, 3rd hatch on the way, gas on the way. Of course, the Terran can't quite build a command center yet, since the lings were right there. But since he's seen that there were no more than those 8 initial lings with his SCV, he's able to push out a little. Probably get that command center started pretty soon. And the scouting SCV gets away. That's... Oh, no it doesn't. Hit the ramp and stopped for a second and died. So another SCV scouting. Killer's gonna intercept him. No, maybe... no. Okay, he pulls away. Not really much to see. Layers on the way. Even if he was going for some kind of crazy lurker rush, it's probably slightly too soon for the den anyways. Usually you want to make the den when the layer is about 60% the way done, and then they finish at the same time, since the den builds a whole lot faster, and you can get your lurker upgrade. And of course you don't want to make the building until the last second, as always, because you want to leave all your workers mining, not morphing into buildings. Alright, so the command center is slightly delayed. because of that Zergling threat. A lot of Marines out. Probably a bunker to follow reasonably soon. Haven't seen the engineering bay yet, but that's pretty standard to get it later. The only reason he got it fast in the first game was that he was doing that 5 racks rush. And is that the bunker, or is that? Alright, that is the bunker. Great. So yeah, Killer's got to run away. He can't possibly take those guys on. That might have been Zergling speed right there. Yeah. Alright. Zergling speed has finished. Metabolic boost. Spire about halfway done. Alright, so we have a medic. You didn't see it, but there's probably a fire bat back home to ward off the Zerglings that run around. Terrans like to do that, and it's so annoying. You send your Zerglings seeing that the Terran, all the Marines move out, and they run into these fire bats and they just roast the Zerglings alive. Alright, so Killer is trying to distract the Marines with the Ritlings, and he wants to stay right next to them, as close as possible without being hit, because that number of Marines might be able to take out 2 sunken colonies. Not 3, definitely, but 2 they could. So, but they'd lose really fast if the Lings jumped in. Ooh, the third one's not done yet. Oh, free Overlord. That's rough, because you know he's Killer's already spent a whole lot of minerals on those Sunkens. Really doesn't want to remake Overlords too. He's just going to cut into his Mutalisk production. So top right, looks like a Zergling scouting. Not entirely sure why. Alright, turrets are on the way. Up, run. Alright, good, very good reaction times from Killer. Didn't even lose a single Ling. And the Marines all stimmed, so it's going to take a while for that medic to heal them all. Alright, and they're just going home. So the turrets are actually much, much faster than the Mutas. And that's probably just because, you know, Killer went for that 9 pool. 3 Sunkens, lost an Overlord. He's really slowed down. That being said, he's got a pretty decent-sized number of Mutas. And that is interesting. Is that a third base? So it looks like Killer has a third base at the 1 o'clock position, which, I mean, of course the Terran wouldn't think to scan there to look for it, because that's a really weird position. Normally you'd want to take the 5 o'clock base. And that's because you want to expand away from your opponent when you're Zerg. So that, you know, the Terran can't push into you really close. He has to go all the way across the map, and in that time you get a bunch of army. So he kills your third, and then, you know, you can either trap him inside the third base, or he tries to move back across, and you know, since you've been building army the whole time, you can just slaughter him. And then it's worth it for you. But yeah, looks like Killer's trying for a hidden base rather than just a far away third base. Oh, you can see bottom right. Mong scanned it, so it's revealed on the minimap. Yeah, he was expecting a third base to be there. He's going to be slightly surprised that, you know, there's nothing there. But yeah, it's top right instead of bottom right. Nice glaive shot from the Mutalisks. And the Mutalisks have not taken all that much damage. Small group of Zerglings trailing, so that if the Marines cross the bridges a little bit aggressively, then Killer can engage with... Ooh, that's a decent amount of Zerglings. He's got the high ground too, so that's pretty nice. Alright. Zerglings are moving in. Mutalisks are doing what they can. Reinforcements come in from Mong, and Killer is forced to retreat. Is that already 2 control groups of Mutalisks? Well, hey, it worked in game 2, why not? And where's... Marines are just out, and they're on that high ground pod. I don't know why they are, but... Zerg is going to get into the main. Ouch. So this is a good one for Killer. Killer decided not to go for the bunker since it looks like there was 2 fire bats inside it. fire bats versus and bunkers versus zerglings, so that's not going to happen. Mutas are forced to retreat. Overlord kill for Mong. He's still pushing down towards the bottom right position because, I mean, that's where you'd expect it to be. Alright, there it is. He found it. It's that yellow dot. Single Marine. Hero Marine. And that Hero Marine has already got 2 drone kills. 3 drone kills. He got the one that looks like he tried to go on gas. And now his whole army is probably going to head there. First opportunity. There's something building to the north of that hatchery. Might be a sunken colony. I think it's too early for that to be a Nidus Canal. Ooh. Move the mutas. Move the mutas. You're going to lose them. That was suboptimal. All those mutas are damaged now. Ah! But Mong is not paying attention. Lurker's getting some really nice free shots on those Marines. Ooh. Alright, mutas are dead. Sunkens will probably save the base, and with the lings from the back, they might even catch that Marine group. Where did all those guys come from? There's got to be a Nidus up. That was a Nidus. Alright. So Killer does hold. His hidden base is no longer hidden. But that misdirection did help out. Mong was looking for it, not finding it. And, it really slowed him down on that attack. Alright, so we have a Nidus Canal. Nidus Canal means the hive is done. So Mong throws down 2 additional factories. He's going for the full-on mech switch. We haven't seen... No, we did see Defilers. There were Defilers at the rally point at the natural. But he hasn't needed them to do any Dark Swarms. So this is slightly problematic for the Terran. Usually by now the Terran would have liked to have moved across the map so that the Zerg can't just like walk into his natural and Dark Swarm everywhere and just overrun him with, you know, Zerglings and Lurkers. But he's got like no map presence. So this could be problematic for Mong. Killer could be in a really good spot here. Alright, not an engagement, no. Mong's got too much. Where are the medics? Alright, there's the medics. They're lagging behind. They're slow. Had to stop and ask for directions. So Killer's taking his 4th base. Now he's got Dark Swarms. He can hold the bottom of the ramp. Prior to that, they usually, once again, Zergs try to take the top base because all they need is 2 Lurkers and they'll stop a large number of Marines coming up a ramp. So only 2 medics with that army. That seems really low. Single Firebats, they're worth their weight in gold versus Zerglings. So in Starcraft 2, generally speaking, if a unit hard counters another unit, it does something like 3 times its cost effectiveness. Firebat is sort of like that versus Zerglings. So Firebats cost like what, 75-50 or 50-25, or they're at least 3 times the amount of the Zergling. In addition to that, they're like 3 times as cost effective as them. So a single Firebat can easily kill like, you know, 9 or more Zerglings if it has a medic. Ooh. And see, alright, so there's the power of Dark Swarm. You sent in 4 Zerglings, just 4, and a Defiler. And the Terran has to, you know, he loses his tank and he has to retreat his SCVs because he can't do anything about it. Now that is a really annoying drop. Due to the Zerg building placement, he's going to have a whole lot of trouble getting the Zerglings back there. Now that's, ooh. So he's got the Dark Swarm, but since Firebats do splash damage, he actually managed to kill that Lurker. Oh, that is so annoying. So, you got harassment on both sides. Oh, come on, clean that up. That's in your natural. You should be able to... Unfortunately, the Hydras aren't actually doing any damage since it applies to... The Dark Swarm applies to the Marines as well as the Lings. So Hydras won't be doing any damage under it to the Marines. But those Lurkers, he'll clean it up. Probably not going to lose that. Yeah, he's not going to lose that Evo Chamber. Huh. Only 1 medic, once again. 3 Firebats, which Firebats, you know, they will do better under Dark Swarm. They'll, you know, unlike the Marines that won't be able to do anything, Firebats can still do stuff. Those vultures could be very annoying. There's no dark swarm, single lurker. Oh, and there's... Oh, man. Oh, man. Killer's just getting overrun every base. Natural third base. And he lost... Really importantly, he lost that Nidus that connected his natural to his third. So he's not going to be able to reinforce the third until he gets a new Nidus up, which is really, really annoying. Since he's got 2 hatcheries there, and a whole lot of drones. And vultures are so annoying. They're just so fast, so cheap, and they have mines. So this is going to be a really good long game. Alright, so we've got the full-on mech transition. So he's using the vultures to lay down mines, get his map control back since he didn't have any before, keep the Zerg from being able to just walk into his natural using the Dark Swarms. Now on the other hand, Killer has 4 bases. He's got double Nidus connecting them, which is sort of weird, but it gives him a fallback position, which is nice. Which, if you can afford it, go for it. Because of those mines everywhere, he can't just send his army straight across, or he's going to take some losses. One solution is you send Zerglings, and you just put them on move command straight through the mines, and usually they take out more than 1 mine before they go down. Just run by and the mines will all chase them, and sooner or later they'll die, but they'll take out 2 or 3 mines. More vulture harass. Oh man. Terrans. Jerks. Trying not to be biased, but what can I say? What is going on here? It looks like that was a lurker, an attempt at a lurker drop. So you drop like a lurker and a defiler, and you throw down the dark swarm, and that can just empty a base. But there's but there was like 5 turrets there, so it just died instantly. That's suboptimal. Tried to scourge the vessels, no success. What is he doing with those overlords? He's like randomly bombing marines. Maybe there's a defiler in there. A little bit of fancy marine micro from Mong. So this is interesting. Mong is actually constructing a turret ring rather than around his base. He's making it around Killer's base. If he can establish that, that's going to provide some really nice support. Stop drops. He can set up some tanks there like he's doing, and that's going to be really annoying to break. I say really annoying. Once Ultralists come out, they're just going to run through it all. Ultralists can eat so many mines. Oh, free Hydras. Alright, so we're seeing a lot of tanks. Tanks are the backbone of the mech army. If things are going well, you won't be losing the tanks. You'll be losing the vultures, maybe the Goliaths, but not the tanks. The barracks are being used for scouting rather than producing units. Oh, don't... See, he's got too few Hydralisks, so essentially the Hydralisks are mine clearing the wrong way, which is, you eat the mines. And considering mines are pretty much free, you get 3 of them for 75 minerals, and you get the vulture too. So you really don't want to be losing a Hydralisk, which costs 100 resources total, minerals and gas. So Mong is getting a death grip, so Killer really needs to make stuff happen. Kinda expected him to start dropping lings on the tanks. So, because tanks do so much splash damage, one of the fun things you can do to them is you drop, Zerglings or Zealots or whatever you have. You drop your units on top of the tanks, and essentially, they'll try to kill them, but they'll end up splashing themselves. And it's just a really great way to cost-effectively kill those really expensive tanks. Alright, so tanks here are being attacked. There's a Dark Swarm and a Lurker under it, so that Lurker isn't going to die. Funny little hatchery in the bottom corner. Not mining or anything, but it's there. Oh, nice. Dark Swarm and Zerglings, once again, really cost-effectively killing off these tanks. Oh, he needs to move him in. The tank's just sieged up. Come on. No, mines. Oh, come on. Killer, you know better than that. Just put an overlord on follow command on those Hydras. So, the Zerglings and Defilers are super cost effective, but that being said, what the? Oh, Queens. What? 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 That thing should have died. It took two Scourge hits. So one of the ways to deal with tanks, and you saw Killer try to do it, you get Queens out, you get Broodlings. But Broodlings require a whole lot of energy, 150, so you literally have to make the Queens and then sit them in the corner of the map for like 2 minutes while they accumulate the energy so that they can cast their Broodling. And somehow, Mong found them and eradicated them all. But, irradiate, whatever. Oh, Plague on the mech? That's... I really would have liked a Dark Swarm there, rather than Plague. Yeah, I mean, you cast... Oh! Alright, so we got off the Dark Swarm, so those tanks will go down. They're not going to be able to escape fast enough. Yeah. That being said, if that first one was a Dark Swarm instead of a Plague, I think a whole lot more of that mech group would have gone down. But, and those mines are being super effective. Super annoying. So we're starting getting into really a problematic time for Killer once again. He's still on those 4 bases, whereas Mong's, he's up to, what, 5? So he's got his main, his natural, the 9 o'clock, the 12 o'clock, and then that pocket at the 11. So even if Killer does, super effective stuff with these Zerglings, super cheap, I mean, the mech army is just growing. It's getting out of control. And you see, see this attack right here? Mong is really not losing much of anything. He's just A-moving, and he's killing all kinds of units. So this is really snowballing out of control fast. So he needs to do something, whether it's, push back the army with some really nice Dark Swarms, or some Zergling drops, or get those Queens in the battle and start Broodlinging everything. But he needs to do something. He's just falling apart here. Does he have 5 bases? There's something at the 7 o'clock. That might be another base, so he might be on 5. But even then, 5 on 5 bases, you really don't want to do that, especially versus a mech player. Because a mech is more cost effective than most of the other races. And oh, there we go. That's at least, oh man. So I was going to say that was 3 Broodlings, but I think he got 2 more off. So that's good. Broodling is nice because not only does it like one-shot kill a tank and do some additional damage with the Broodlings, but it's free. I mean, those Queens survived. They're going to be able to, in another 2.5 minutes, they're going to have another 150 energy and be able to cast that again. I don't like these Hydras, though. Oh well. So they've got 2/2 upgrades, so that's pretty decent. And super annoying vessels irradiating everything. Defiler got irradiated too, so he casted those spells before he died. Bunch of super cost-effective vultures. Big ol' minefield. No Ultralisk yet, which is rather surprising. Perhaps it's because Killer is low on resources since he still doesn't have too many bases. Oh man, you need to pull back. You're gonna lose that Killer. Killer, pull back, pull back. You need some Dark Swarms. Oh man, not good. Uh-oh, no. Alright, so he took out a few tanks and a vessel. But, oh come on. So, alright, so he's got 5 Defilers, but they just got EMP'd by the vessels, which you really don't see all that often. But essentially that makes them worthless. Oh man, 6 Defilers. 6 Defilers, and no energy. Alright, GG, Killer loses. So Mong played a pretty good game. he really didn't lose all that much, actually, to Killer's attacks and his hive tech. I mean, if Killer had taken the normal third base, I think it could have turned out differently. But he tried to take a hidden one, and it helped him initially to get it established. And, he was able to defend it with those Sunkens. But if he had just taken a normal base, I think it would have turned out better in the long run, because Terran wouldn't have been able to harass it as much and be super annoying with all those vultures. But alright, that was the game. And the match, Mong wins. So that was Group B, Match 1, Mong versus Killer. Mong advances. And I'll cast some more and see who else advances from the group. See ya.